I don't like your hot takes, mid. For the love of God, I mean, look at this.
Bald or long hair, Kratos, which one will it be? Sit the fuck down, chronicler, I'm here to spill the real tea. Myth, lasagna, myth, lasagna. Your hot takes ain't nothing but a myth. Lasagna, myth, lasagna, myth, lasagna. Boy, Kratos, take it or leave it, this is what we got here.
Zesty, you've forced my hand. I really didn't want to do this. I have the evidence, but now I have to. This isn't really about hair anymore. This is about respect and integrity, which are things that you clearly don't have. I'm not going to sing or dance around like a clown. I'm going to do things my way. Hello and welcome to another page of the Midgard Chronicle. Guys, God of War Ragnarok is in trouble. There is a man within the ranks of the employees at Santa Monica Studios who is trying to sabotage the game and make it as bad as possible. And no, it's not Eric Williams, as you might have thought. It is actually Cory Barlog, or rather someone trying to be Cory Barlog. So how exactly is Cory Barlog connected to ruining the game? Well, this. See, I have a mole in Santa Monica Studio who I asked to look after certain people in the company, and he managed to get me one of these masks. It seems pretty crude, but I had to test it out, so I went on Cuba's podcast and tried it out, and as I suspected, everyone believed that I was actually Cory Barlog, so I had no doubt that this mask actually transforms the person who wears it, and everyone believes that it's Cory Barlog, just like Mission Impossible. And according to my contact in the company, that was one of many masks that the supposed person possessed, so someone was impersonating Cory Barlog. But who? I had to search for answers. I looked through all the LinkedIn lists and so on. I looked through a lot of video materials, and finally, I was able to find the answer. I rewatched the Raising Kratos documentary, and looking at every Santa Monica employee, I saw this, and I thought this face looked familiar. I couldn't make it out like this, but I ran it through a 4K enhancer AI, and there was no doubt. It was in fact Zesty Extreme Gameplays himself at Santa Monica Studios. At the time, I was actually excited. I thought, wow, Zesty's working at Santa Monica, he's working on God of War Ragnarok, and he didn't tell anyone. That's incredible. But now, in the light of recent events, I know the true motives of why he was there. He possesses the masks, and he impersonates Cory Barlog to sabotage the production of the game. You may have a lot of questions and evidence how this could be the case, but let me explain. The Raising Kratos documentary obviously showed the production of the first God of War game, so Zesty must have been a part of the team for quite a while now, several years at this point. Which means that he became a trusted face within the community and could enter and exit the building freely. So does that mean that he was impersonating Cory Barlog all those years? No, not the case. And I can pinpoint the exact time when he did. Remember when Cory left Twitter for 3 months? That's it. Zesty kidnapped Cory, and he took 3 whole months to perfect his personality. Being Cory Barlog is very difficult, and you gotta nail it or people are gonna suspect that something wrong, and it took him 3 whole months to perfect his personality and be able to come back on Twitter and emulate Cory properly. And notice how since Cory came back, he was very cryptic. He had the dots. He said the game was coming out, then he would apologize for the game not coming out and riling up the fans. Something was definitely off. And now we know why. This is what happened. Zesty traveled to Santa Monica Studio and became a part of it. He worked on God of War and then God of War Ragnarok, becoming a trusted person within the community. Then at some point he introduced the Cory mask and kidnapped the real Cory, replacing him. So now we know that the creative director of Santa Monica Studios is not who he says he is. The main question is, of course, why? Why would he do such a terrible thing and try and compromise the most awaited game of the year? Simple. If you look at Zesty's channel for more than a second, you will notice that he has a slight bias towards the Greek God of War games, which obviously means that he does not like the changes of the new Norse God of War games. He wants the God of War formula to come back to the Greek days. And how do you do that? You make the Norse games bad. He couldn't do that during God of War because he was an employee. He had to work hard and prove himself. But now that he is Cory Barlog and he makes the creative decisions, he can run the game into the ground and make it worse than the first game and ruin this Norse saga and force Sony to make Santa Monica come back to the Greek formula so that Zesty could enjoy the games more. This is the sort of criminal we're dealing with here. He wants to ruin our favorite game for his own gain. He committed identity theft to do that. And not only that, I checked the database and there is no person with his name who has a visa and is authorized to work in the United States, which means that he is in the country illegally. Zesty, I have no choice but to call the cops on you and deport you for what you have done. I'm gonna do that right now. You're going away for a long time.
911, what's your emergency?
What are we doing? How did it come to this? This must stop. This must stop now. Hey Zesty, I'm sorry. It's okay. It's okay. I'm so sorry I started a war, right? I went too far. Peace? What now? Well, how does a collab sound?